Discover the Presto Pizzazz Plus rotating oven. It's the fast and easy way to bake fresh or frozen pizza, thin or rising crust. Plus, it prepares convenience foods like frozen chicken wings, jalapeno poppers, fish fillets, egg rolls, and more. The Pizzazz Plus features a rotating tray that turns continuously for even baking. While ordinary ovens are heating, you're eating because there's no need to preheat. Simply set the timer and it begins to bake. The top and bottom heating elements bake food from both sides quickly and evenly. And because they're separately controlled, you can select the top, bottom, or both elements for perfect results every time. Use the bottom element to make a crispier crust or the top element for a bubblier topping. And with the open oven design, it's easy to see when the pizza is done just the way you like it. The timer signals when cooking time is complete and automatically turns the heating elements off. Then, simply take off the pizza, slice, and serve. With the non-stick baking pan removed, cleaning and storage is easy. The Pizzazz Plus doesn't heat up your kitchen and can save as much as 60% in energy compared to a conventional oven. When families are on the go, the Pizzazz Plus helps get meals and snacks on the table fast. Chicken nuggets, quesadillas, grilled sandwiches, and even cookies and cinnamon rolls. Delicious! The Presto Pizzazz Plus rotating oven. Get one today.
Discover the Presto Pizzazz Plus rotating pizza oven. It's the fast and easy way to bake fresh or frozen pizza, thin or rising crust. Plus, it prepares convenience foods like frozen chicken wings, jalapeno poppers, fish fillets, egg rolls, and more. The Pizzazz Plus features a rotating tray that turns continuously for even baking. While ordinary ovens are heating, you're eating. No need to preheat. Simply set the timer and it begins to bake. The top and bottom heating elements bake food from both sides, quickly and evenly, and they're separately controlled. Select the top, bottom, or both elements for perfect results every time. Use the bottom element to make a crispier crust, or the top element for a bubblier topping. And with the open oven design, it's easy to see when the pizza is done just the way you like it. The timer signals when cooking time is complete and automatically turns the heating elements off. With the non-stick baking pan removed, cleaning and storage is easy. The Pizzazz Plus doesn't heat up your kitchen and can save as much as 60% in energy compared to a conventional oven. Chicken nuggets, quesadillas, grilled sandwiches, even cookies and cinnamon rolls. And of course, pizza! Delicious! The Pizzazz Plus rotating pizza oven from Presto.
Hey everyone, welcome to another of Adam's Reviews, and today I am reviewing the Presto Pizzazz Plus Rotating Oven. And this is a really nifty device that I find almost indispensable for heating up all kinds of different things. I heat up pizza, and you'll see in the video how many different things I heat up with this thing. It's a very simple device. It's got a little twisty knob on the top that sets the time that you want to cook your food with, and it has two heating elements, one on the top, one on the bottom, and they are selectable, or you can use both at the same time to heat your items up, which I find very flexible and allows you to like heat up the bottom of things more. So if you like crispy crusts and things like that, really works well. And it's actually supposed to even help save energy, because you don't have to bother with any sort of like preheating your oven or anything like that. And so with that, I want to go ahead and get right into it, and let's cook ourselves some pizza. And here's an example of a pizza that doesn't really work very well for this thing. As you can see, these are square pizzas. They are Freschetta brick oven pizzas, and you can't cook them on this because they're square pizza, and then the edges of the squares are too large, so they hang off the edge and they get stuck up underneath there. So my solution has been just to take like a pair of cooking shears and just to cut the very edges, the corners off of the square, so that way it all fits under there and it'll rotate without getting all messed up. Alright, so here we have the square pizza that is now sort of roundish, or at least has rounded corners on it. You'll know that it's going to be fine to go ahead and cook the way that it is. If you just wait, plug it in, and let it spin for one rotation, and it doesn't start like shoving itself off to one side or the other. So I'm just going to wait, make sure that this end can go all the way through and it doesn't start moving the pizza around, then it's going to be just fine. Yep, I think we're good to go. So for this pizza, it goes on for 20 minutes. And we'll just go ahead and let it go. You get to watch it in time lapse. Ooh, exciting. Alright, so while this thing is cooking, I thought I'd go ahead and point out one important thing, and that is to make sure that there's nothing flammable around this. It's got open coils that produce a heck of a lot of heat, so if you have something combustible near it, there's a good chance that you might set something on fire, so just be really careful with this thing. Alright, so that thing is done. See, it's nice and dark, crispy looking. So one of my tricks that I have, I don't know if you guys ever have issues with this, but what I usually do, get a pizza out of the oven or the pizzazz, let's just take the box that it came in and toss the pizza on top. And here you can see the finished product. It's nice and crispy, it's nice and done. I actually turned this one off a few minutes early because this pizza apparently only needed to be on there for 17 minutes, so I removed it before it started to burn. But I like mine nice and crispy anyway, so you can see how crispy these pizzas turn out when you cut them too. And if you want an even crispier crust, one of the tips that you can get is turn it on past 10, because you have to turn it on past 10 in order for the actual heating elements to start up, and then back it off back down to like 5 minutes. Flip the switch to what is it, under or top? It's bottom, I think. Lower. That's it. Lower. Switch to lower. Let it go for like 5 minutes, and that'll go ahead and start heating up the bottom of the pizza. And then flip it on to both, and then turn it up to whatever your preference is. Like for me, I would have done this 17 minutes, 5 minutes with lower, and 17 minutes on upper, just to get an even crispier crust. Even though this crust will be crispy, I just like it really crispy. So you can see it's all nice and done and brown, just like it came from the delivery. Yeah, look at that, nice and brown, nice and crispy. Alright, so I wanted to kind of give you a short overview of one thing that drives me crazy about this, and that's the fact that this spindle right here needs to fit into this little hole that's right there, that's kind of got these flutes on it, and the flutes have to line up with the little flutes that are down in here. And trying to get that actually to line up while you're not looking can be just like a pain in the butt. I don't know if there was some other way that they could have designed this to make it a little bit easier, but it can't be a pain in the butt. So after you do it a little while, you kind of get a feel for exactly where it's supposed to go, and then you can drop it right into place. But until you're really familiar with where it's supposed to go, it can be a little bit frustrating. You're going to find yourself probably looking underneath it to see where it's supposed to drop in. That's really about it. Other than the fact that, like, as a plastic housing, I would have preferred metal. That would have been a little bit cooler. And also, maybe they could have come up with maybe a different model, really, like one that's got metal, and then also instead of using this simple little, bell type of a timer, maybe a digital type of timer would be cool. Maybe also have the digital timer be able to control upper and lower, so that way, as you're cooking various items that you want to heat the bottom first for a little while and then kick on like both the top and the bottom, you'll be able to program it all through here instead of having to come back here and reset everything to do upper and then lower, and then yeah. So that's my only one gripe really with the pizzazz. Okay, and as promised, I said I was going to cook something other than pizza on it, and here we go. Frozen breaded chicken strips, and these turned out absolutely fantastic on the pizzazz. Okay, so I had that under the pizzazz for 20 minutes, and as you can see, it's nice and golden brown. There's spots on it where it got like a little extra crispy, but you can see like how just like super crispy, and I mean mashing down on the batter on these chicken strips is just, you can tell that it's like really nice and crispy, and that is the thing that I love about this about this appliance is the fact that everything that you put underneath it winds up being crispy, instead of like doing something silly like trying to heat your chicken strips up in the microwave where they're going to turn into mush, or putting them in an oven which is gigantic and huge and wastes way more electricity, and it still doesn't wind up as crispy because it's a lot further away from the source of the heat. Whereas putting your chicken strips on a pizzazz, they just turn out absolutely fantastic almost every single time. I've never had a problem yet where I wind up pulling something out of that pizzazz and it's not crispy and really super tasty.
Here's a usage for it that I bet not very many people will think of. Heating up leftover hamburgers. Who wants to heat up a hamburger in a microwave? I know I don't, because they taste really nasty when you do that. So pull it apart and heat it up this way. It turns out great.
So there you go. There you go. There's a nice, juicy, reheated hamburger that doesn't have soggy buns and won't taste like crap because you threw it in a microwave. One thing I suggest, take off the lettuce, take off tomatoes and pickles, stuff like that, because trying to heat them up underneath that is still not going to turn out so well. So if you really want lettuce and tomatoes, I recommend that you probably just replace them if you have leftovers.
And here's another item that you can heat up real nicely with the pizzazz. Quesadillas. Yep, just take a tortilla, throw it on there, throw some cheese on there, fold that in half, and let that thing rotate around for a little while. And they turn out just nice and crispy, golden brown, and watch out because they are very hot too. As you can see, I almost burned myself on this. And here's the last item I'm going to show you. It is some leftover combination pizza, super thick, lots of toppings, but that's no problem for the pizzazz. Still turns out awesome.
So as you can see, the pizzazz does really well even on pizzas that have like a lot of toppings. This is a combination pizza that I really like, and it heats it up even better than I think than when it's originally delivered. I think that when what comes out of the pizzazz is actually better because it's not in that steamy, box that they use to keep the pizzas warm, which actually makes it kind of soggy. So it turns out nice and crispy again, and the bottom is all nice and browned and nice and done. The cheese is all gooey, and it's really, really good.
So it's incredibly rare that I give a product a 5 out of 5 because there's almost always something that I can find fault with it, something the company could have done a little bit better. And while there are a few things with the pizzazz, it is so overwhelmingly awesome that I have to give it a 5 out of 5. I use this thing like it's going out of style. I personally, my wife still uses the oven to cook with, but for the most part, all the stuff that I like to just heat up real quick or whatever, I use the pizzazz almost exclusively. I don't even remember the last time I touched the oven. I really cannot stress how awesome this product is. If you don't have one, you really need to get it. They're cheap and they work fantastically. Hey, thanks a lot for watching. I'll catch all of you next time on Adam's Reviews.
Discover the Presto Pizzazz Plus rotating oven. It's the fast and easy way to bake fresh or frozen pizza, thin or rising crust. Plus, it prepares convenience foods like frozen chicken wings, jalapeno poppers, fish fillets, egg rolls, and more. The Pizzazz Plus features a rotating tray that turns continuously for even baking. While ordinary ovens are heating, you're eating because there's no need to preheat. Simply set the timer and it begins to bake. The top and bottom heating elements bake food from both sides quickly and evenly. And because they're separately controlled, you can select the top, bottom, or both elements for perfect results every time. Use the bottom element to make a crispier crust or the top element for a bubblier topping. And with the open oven design, it's easy to see when the pizza is done just the way you like it. The timer signals when cooking time is complete and automatically turns the heating elements off. Then, simply take off the pizza, slice, and serve. With the non-stick baking pan removed, cleaning and storage is easy. The Pizzazz Plus doesn't heat up your kitchen and can save as much as 60% in energy compared to a conventional oven. When families are on the go, the Pizzazz Plus helps get meals and snacks on the table fast. Chicken nuggets, quesadillas, grilled sandwiches, and even cookies and cinnamon rolls. Delicious! The Presto Pizzazz Plus rotating oven. Get one today.